And stream. Although I should probably actually capture. Okay. So, what are we doing currently?
What was that?
What are we doing currently?
Sending you back to home base to talk to a goblin.
That sounds so lovely.
Do you want me to be in possession of the statues?
Which ones?
The ones that we place. The gnome and such.
I mean, yeah, I reckon so. I forget, what do we get shark tooth necklaces from? Just zombies?
I believe during a blood moon.
Okay.
Oh, this is the absolute worst. You're gonna be getting in this chest as soon as I'm done. So I don't know a quick way to
By the way, I'm putting all my tissue samples into a chest.
Okay. So I don't know if there's a quick way to split an item stack in half. I'm sure there is. I don't know it. So I'm just holding right click.
It's probably like Shift or Alt or something.
Okay, is your inventory almost completely clear?
Currently, but I'm over by the goblin.
Okay. Start opening wooden crates until you get 2 aglets.
That's a lot of wooden crates. How do I open them?
You just right click on them. It says right click to open. Did you read?
No, I didn't. I got selfish boots.
They're just a Hermia boots equivalent.
There's one aglet.
So how many crates have you opened so far?
20?
Better luck than I had.
How many stacks did you give me? Or like how many was in total?
Like 1,700 something.
Okay, I'm at 1,723 currently, still on the one aglet. Got the climbing claws though.
Yes, I have the tiger climbing gear.
Tsunami in the bottle is something we should keep, right? Although maybe not.
Not overly so. Because it just combines with the balloon pufferfish for the Sharkron balloon.
So is it the equivalent of a cloud in a bottle, or is it a little different?
It's a cloud in the bottle equivalent. I think it might be slightly stronger than a cloud in a bottle, similar to Blizzard in a bottle, but weaker than Sandstorm.
Okay. Well, that one gives me 4 defense, so that saves me a reforging. So my cloud in a bottle goes in my inventory. I guess I'll sell these other tsunami in a bottles then.
Yeah. Again, what you do with those crates, it's up to you. I'm just telling you, open crates until you get 2 aglets, because I'm not spending an entire session sitting here fishing.
Do we need radars?
I already have a radar, because when I opened the 40 crates just to test how bad it is, I got a radar.
Okay. But I need a radar then.
It would go into the cell phone, yes.
Okay, so I'll keep one. I guess I'll keep the menacing guide to plant fiber cordage. Do we need selfish boots to go into the other better boots or no?
No. I think you have to have Hermes or Flurry boots. Why would you use Quick Stack?
Because our inventory doesn't make any kind of sense, so... Oh, there's the second aglet.
So how many did you end up having to open?
I'm at 1,699 crates left. So,
I think you had to open 100 then.
could be.
Okay, well give me one of them. If you want to open the rest and then want so you can like sell them, go for it. Could not care less what you do with those crates. Or you can open them all.
I mean, I'm not gonna go through it and do everything right now with them, but I'll store them in my piggy bank.
Like I said, I'm not overly trying to get ahead because of those crates. It's just I didn't want to waste an entire session just sitting still fishing, waiting for it to say wooden crate.
Which is why I'm not opening all of them right now.
Wait. Did you grab your pies?
No, I've not grabbed anything else out of that chest. Okay, so the 100 pies, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then regeneration, iron skin, and swiftness. The other potions are just, you know, for fishing fun times.
Can you right click on those to consume them from the inventory, or how does that work?
I think you would have to... I don't know if you can right click and consume. Test it with like one of the fishing potions. Because I don't care if you waste those.
At some point we need to actually go through and tidy up the chests. Gonna go ahead and just keep the mana potions on me, I guess. I see we don't have lots of bottles.
Yeah, I'll be real honest. I didn't get around to doing that one.
Right.
Look, we can get health potions by... Okay, take a health potion. You know, your regular old stock standard lame one.
Yeah, which...
Talk to the guide and see if you can make anything with it.
I mean, thankfully, like, I can.
Right, so assuming you can make something with health potions, like better health potions, right? Can you use lesser health potions to make health potions?
Yes. It's 2 lessers with a mushroom, so I don't need bottles for that.
Right, so at night we'll just farm like Eye of Cthulhu, or during the day King Slime. Boom. You got your HP potions.
Other things.
Well, I'm off to look for the jungle.
Why do you need the jungle?
To try to find an anklet of wind?
And I definitely feel like I'd had another one of those at some point, but maybe I didn't.
Nope, you only found the one. I believe it was in the mahogany tree. Which is normally found, you know, in the jungle, but your end has the snow biome, which means you wouldn't have the jungle biome proper. Because I'm pretty sure snow biome and jungle are always on the same side. Not snow biome and jungle. The dungeon and snow biome. Whereas jungle and jungle temple are on the opposite side.
There. Allows me to create the lightning boots. Oh, I need ice skates. Are those dropped from just ice mobs?
No.
What do they drop from then?
I believe you can get them from frozen crates. Or, drumroll please, frozen chests, aka ice biome.
I mean, fair enough. What else were we having me do? Oh yeah, go back to reforging. Did you replant pumpkins?
Not yet. You know, how do I want to phrase this? Excuse me and my arrogance if I feel like 100 will last us for long enough.
Well, Well, I didn't get all fours, but I'm not going to spend down all of my gold. Well, I say that, but I'm doing my last one. Yep, nope, I'll take the one. Okay, I've got like 10 gold in my name now. So.
Yeah, like I said, we're just gonna farm bosses for money.
So like that book that allows you to harvest vines, is that just me be in the inventory?
I don't know, does it mention whether it needs to be equipped?
It says it's equipable, but...
Right, but does it say it needs to be equipped?
It does not mention.
Then slash some vines and find out.
Time to go do the vine layer. Does appear to.
Okay, well that's unfortunate, but now you have your answer.
Is vine rope as good as regular rope?
Yes. And I believe silk rope is also as good as regular rope.
Okay, so at some point we're gonna want a lot of rope, right?
Potentially.
I need to kill that demon eye because it looks funky. Doesn't have a different name or anything, just... Looks kind of funny.
Found the antlion den. I'm pretty sure based off of the fact that I just fought an antlion.
I mean, that would be a presumable thing. Okay, let's not break the honeycomb thing.
Yeah, so don't worry, in theory this world will have plenty of sand, we just have to go to the antlion area.
I like that in theory.
Look, depending on when you try to harvest said sand, it might have been, converted. But at least for now, should have way more than enough sand.
Oh god, you're so far away.
Yeah, that's welcome to why I hate large worlds. Like, large worlds aren't inherently that bad, they just take so long to traverse. On the bright side, you get more copies of loot.
Okay.
I did not get splat by a boulder, thank you very much, game. That is not a boulder.
What was it?
A baby antlion. Like, if it was a boulder, I wouldn't have mind, except I hit the boulder, it went the opposite way of me, broke the baby antlion out of its egg, it charged at me, it hit me, and I took 305 because the game said it was a boulder. Last I checked, baby antlions are not boulders.
I mean, that's probably accurate.
Also, I think I've came to the unfortunate conclusion we might not have a jungle biome proper. In this seed.
You say that, but is it really that bad?
Considering it has to be from jungle crates for finding a anklet of wind, yes. Because that means if I can't find a jungle crate, like you did, I literally just can never upgrade Hermie boots.
Well, that's not ideal. Are we wanting tattered cloths?
I think they're only used for making goblin standards if we want to get goblin invasions. Goblin invasions will not be particularly useful until hard mode, when you can get the hard mode drops. Just if I'm stating my personal opinion on the matter. Oh, and I can confirm that should a meteor fall in this world, it will indeed be on the surface.
That's good. I think.
I'm just letting you know that, like, I can at least confirm how meteors work in this seed.
Which items can I get rid of?
Annie, if you believe hard enough. Don't forget to mine heart crystals for making heart lanterns.
Oh, don't worry. If I've seen any, I've mined them.
Because those are at least easy enough to find that there's no reason to cheat them.
Slush blocks are the other thing for that.
Extractor, yeah.
Also, it is small miracles I've not somehow awakened a queen bee. Yeah, no, I've been playing a roguelike or roguelite game called Into the Pit. Because it's about ready to leave Game Pass, so I've been playing that in between stuffs. Not bad.
Okay. I might be dumb. This might have no correlation. I could just be mistaken. Apparently the jungle is on the same side as the snow biome.
Oh yeah, did you not know that?
No.
Wouldn't that be why we have like the queen bee stuff inside of there?
No. The queen bee stuff is placed all over because it's not the bees.
Okay, but like wouldn't the mahogany tree thing be?
I don't know how that interacts with not the bees. Or the junk world seed.
You know what? That's fair.
Because I'm pretty sure snow biome and jungle are typically on opposite sides.
Maybe that's what makes it drunk.
It could be. You know, like, I'm not fully assuming I know anything about the way that the world generation works in this seed. You know, since that's how you make assumptions that put you into a really bad position.
You know, also fair. I'm gonna guess you did some very interesting exploring up over by me.
No?
Interesting. Okay.
I do not believe so. I believe that... Because you
Our,
are literally...
Go ahead.
I believe you are literally at the extent of what's lit up on my map, and I don't know if I'm the one who originally went there, or if it was you.
Definitely wasn't me. Are snowflakes something I should kill?
Imp staff is objectively better.
Okay. What have you been playing?
Not a whole lot.
No?
No?
Are you gonna pick up Harvestella when it comes out?
Probably.
Look, I'm just trying to make conversation with you, buddy.
Well,
But I don't think we've talked about that game before.
yeah, we have.
Have we talked about Harvestella?
Yeah.
I think it could be interesting. I don't know if it's going to be any good or not, though.
Look, I respect people's right to opinions and such. And by no means I'm saying you can't have opinions. But I am very much of the opinion that conversation should typically focus on the game being played.
I think if there are things to actually converse about there, sure. I think we are not, like, I don't think there's a lot to discuss about the game we are currently playing, though. In the current moment.
Right, but for the capacity of what I'm saying, that doesn't really matter. My point is just, I know I myself personally tend to get more annoyed when people are playing one game but talking about like a different game, because you never can fully predict where a conversation might or might not go. And I just feel like, how do I want to say this?
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I also get what you're saying, like when you say that you don't like being in group chats when you're not playing the same game with someone. I think it's just an oddity with you there more than anything. I feel like most people are okay being in a group chat, like, and talking about things, like when people are playing different games.
That's also because most people don't actually like to focus as much as I do, in my opinion, on what they're doing.
I mean, I would argue you're probably correct. Most people usually are more prone to splitting their attention.
Right. like I was trying to say and struggling to think of the 100% best way to phrase it, it's kind of the um, idea of saying, I know some people don't like spoiler information, some people avoid trailers because of spoiler information. So it's always annoying, like, when people talk about a game that they're not playing because it always makes you wonder what might or might not come up in said conversation. Because again, most people would generally assume that any information revealed in a trailer is fine to discuss, and I'm going to die due to poison.
Man, I hope this blue fairy will show me something cool. Yeah, I think, like I said, like I think it's more of an issue that you kind of struggle with more than probably like the average populace, though.
I don't think so on the talk about like different games while playing a game. I think most people probably generally agree on that one.
I mean, like, I think it definitely depends on the kind of game, right? Like, Terraria is much more... How do I want to put it? It's...
No, I don't think it depends on the type of game. I think it's a matter of whether or not it's a person who wants to avoid spoilers. Because, again, you never know where a conversation is going to go. Obviously, in the case of a game that's not out yet, it's going to be very limited.
Yeah, like, again, like, I think that's a very small subset of the population. Like, if, like, you know, for, like, if we were going, like, in-depth, like, story stuff, sure, but...
Yeah, but, you know I don't watch trailers for games, so there's literally nothing to discuss about it.
I mean, I literally just asked if you were picking it up, though. Like, that was the extent of the question.
Right, but, like, there's nothing else to discuss. Like, there's no point in bringing it up.
Okay, I mean, sure, if you're like a stooge with conversation.
It has nothing to do with being a stooge with conversation.
Look, most people are very okay, like, just talking about, like, stuff like that. Like, saying, hey, are you gonna pick this up? You know, most people don't have issues with talking about that even in passing. Like, even if it doesn't go any further than that, like, most people I feel are pretty okay with that.
I don't feel like you should be doing that while playing a different game, though, because again...
Yeah, but, like, that's the thing that most people would not be like.
It doesn't matter. In today's society, it's still something that should be respected.
Nah, anyone that's that picky about it, they can shove off.
Okay, let me just start firing off spoilers then for games. Oh wait, how is that different?
There's definitely like a... Oh, this is a spider den, ain't it? Ah, motherfucker. First off, there's a huge difference between, like, doing, like, purposeful spoilers versus, like, saying, like, hey, are you picking this up? Or, like, you know, like, some games, you know, you don't really... Like, spoilers aren't much of a thing.
It doesn't matter. Like, if people want to avoid spoilers, they have no way of knowing when a conversation is going to, dip into, like, spoilery territory. Example, Chilled Chaos stream. A platypus asked a question and basically gave Spider-Man spoilers indirectly. Literally within, I think, a week and a half of the movie releasing. So it's like saying, Oh, what's that? You didn't mute the stream or skip ahead the second he started mentioning it? You potentially just found out a huge spoiler.
I mean, like, the unfortunate reality, though, is, like, if you do consume media, like, you always have the risk of spoiler.
Right,
being
but that
associated
doesn't mean
there.
I want to encourage... That doesn't mean I want to encourage it, because there's literally no reason to encourage it.
Yeah, but there's also, like, no reason to just confine a conversation to literally the game you're playing. Like, that's...
It does... No, it just doesn't have to be about anything, like, in terms of other games or, like, TV shows or movies. You know, there's other things to talk about that isn't just stuff that's potentially a spoiler. Or could lead into a spoiler that people might not want to know.
I think that's way too restrictive, in my opinion. You know, people who have that as where they're like, yeah, you know, that's a conversational line or whatever for them. More power to them, but I think that's a little silly. Man, is this taking me to a chest this way, or is it going to be that I've already passed it? Okay, let's do that to prevent spiders from coming to murder me. Maybe.
And I don't mean this as a slight against you, but I find it funny that how, like you said, most people probably wouldn't have too much of an issue with it, but some definitely do. But, you know, through history, obviously, you know, there's been tons of things that people would have an issue with that the general population would say, yeah, I think drawing the line there, though, is dumb.
I mean...
You never know where it'll go in the future.
I mean, sure. Like, you know, like, there's a difference between, like, let's say, progressive ideals versus, like, talking about other media. Like, there's a bit of a difference there.
It was not necessarily saying progressive ideas.
Yeah,
That's you putting
but...
words in the mouth.
Okay, if you're talking about the, you know, scope of history and other things like that, there's not a ton of other trajectories to take that.
No, there are.
I said a ton of others. Not that there wasn't any.
Except I would disagree. I think there are tons of ways to take that.
Well, you are welcome to believe that. And, you know, as a whole, like, I'm a fairly progressive, ideal sort of person. For the most part.
But who's to decide what is a spoiler?
Well, that's why you got, you know, have some element of faith in whatever you're watching. If you're watching any kind of social commentary...
This isn't social commentary.
Motherfucker.
This is, you know, gameplay.
Yes, but if you're watching anyone as a form of entertainment who is not on a strictly scripted aspect, you're risking spoilers.
No, you shouldn't, because if you're watching someone play a FNAF video game, you shouldn't expect them to start spouting off stuff about, you know, Alien Isolation, Amnesia: The Dark Descent, etc. Because those games have nothing, like, to do with what's currently going on.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to agree to disagree there. I personally find people talking about, like, other media and comparing what they think about stuff in different aspects of it
You also don't hardly care about spoilers.
Yeah, and like honestly, like my content ain't gonna be super heavily curated on that. It just isn't ever going to be in a large way. Oh, poor Frederick. You know, like I'm not gonna like there's aspects that, you know, I'm gonna be a little mindful of on spoilers, but there's also gonna be aspects where I am not. And hey, you know, if for some individuals that's an issue, I totally respect that. 100%.
Because you know I don't like spoilers.
Well, there's a difference between respecting and also like modifying my content around that.
It's not modifying your content at that point. It's respecting the person you're currently having a discussion with.
Okay, but at what point have I discussed anything that was spoiler with you? At what point have I disrespected that with you? Have I done so?
Not yet, but
okay, then...
you know, I don't know when you're potentially going to slide, you know, into something I don't want to know about the game that I wouldn't know yet, with avoiding most information on it.
Okay, so that part of it, you know, for that game in specific, could have been, you know, sufficed with, like, you know, yeah, I'm gonna be picking it up, but I don't want to know anything from trailers or anything because I want to go in blind. Right?
Right, but I just also find it literally just as easy not to mention it.
Well, I'm glad that you do. You're not me on that, because I will just bring up topics to bring them up. And if they don't want to be delved on further, it is up to that person to express that they don't want it to be discussed further. Ow, don't burn myself in lava. Let's not do that. I got a raincoat.
Trash vanity items. Let's go.
Ooh, I got a goodie bag though. A goodie bag can be good, right?
No. No, it can't.
Fair enough.
No, I also brought it up in like that capacity because I know a lot of streamers also have policies like don't mention what another streamer is doing. Unless the streamer themselves specifically questions it.
Well, I mean, like, there's a difference of doing like while someone is live versus like, I don't know, like what we was talking about. Like, you know, it's poor manners to say like, oh hey, XQC or someone like that is doing this game while like you know, like in your chat while you're live, because like it's almost like trying to get them to go to that stream instead of being on yours. Like that's different than having a conversation about like, you know, oh hey, are you gonna pick up this game? Like, that's very different.
No, because some streamers literally have policies of no discussing games other than what's being played.
Okay.
As well. Again, there's a myriad of variety of rules and such. I don't think it's that hard to, you know, avoid discussing other things.
It may not be that hard, but I'm not gonna give a damn about that. Just being real honest. Like, you know, like as long as like my chat's not being like weird about it, like as far as like talking about other games than what's being played, and be like, hey, go play this instead. Like, as long as that's not what's going on, I'm not gonna be real bothered by, like, you know, like, is it hard to do? No, I guess not, but that's not how I want to, like, dictate my conversations either. Like, I'd rather be able to talk about games that are upcoming or that we're playing and, you know, discuss them regardless of what we're playing. It's like, you know, Terraria ain't an in-depth, entertaining game to discuss, like, what you're doing while you're playing it. It just, like, it isn't. It's super basic, you know, kind of like how, like even more basic than like Minecraft. Like Minecraft, you can at least kind of describe like, oh hey, I'm gonna go here to do this because of XYZ reason. Especially like with modded Minecraft, but
it's literally no less complex than Minecraft, in my opinion.
It's maybe more complex, but it's not as good conversationally to describe what you're doing and why.
I disagree. I've seen people play Minecraft. I literally cannot tell a difference, really.
But, you know, Minecraft is also more of a, like, podcasting game than just a talk about the game as well. You know, that style game just has a limit on how much you can really talk about what you're doing inside of the game. Just doesn't cover all the gamuts. Or, I mean, I guess it not so much doesn't cover all the gamuts. Hi, zombie. Could you not try to fall on my head? Thank you. How did that blood zombie get down in our base? Oh, no. Poor guide. Oh, I went down the wrong way.
Why are you back at our base?
Because I got exploded, remember?
Yeah, but you could have left the base or moved way off on the side where the arena is, so enemies despawn at the actual housing.
It's okay. They lived and died a valiant life. That's what we're gonna go with.
No, you got them murdered in cold blood by your decision making.
I don't think that's what makes cold blood.
I said you got them murdered in cold blood.
I
didn't say you murdered them in cold blood. You got them murdered in cold blood.
And the night is over. Okay.
Also, this is just more, what is this RNG? This is more of a, you know, just my own personal take on the matter. I would wager that the reason why probably most people stream something like Minecraft to discuss other things is they're not that interesting of a person. Because I know, for instance, this isn't on Twitch, but Twitch has the just chatting section, which in theory would be a perfect place for those conversations, but instead they're banking on a game to actually give people something to watch rather than just listen to them.
I mean,
most.
I think a lot of people just also like playing a game while they're talking. You know, a lot of people like to have something that they're doing and working towards while they're also doing that, right? And like most people who, like, you know, for like Minecraft streamers or like, you know, like Captain Sparkles in the Little Wood, you know, just whoever. I don't know if In the Little Wood still does Minecraft, but he used to. Like most of those folks overall, like in addition to being Minecraft streamers, you know, when they have been, like they're also like they don't like people don't watch them because of their skill at the games, right? Like that's not generally what they're there for. Some maybe, but generally I'd say probably not. You know, so like you can argue that they're personality streamers, which would be accurate. But I'd also say like for the most part, most streamers kind of fall into that category.
I hate describing people as personality streamers or whatever, just because it's such a dumb concept in my opinion.
Why is it a dumb concept?
Because if you have the personality of sandpaper, literally almost, I don't think anyone is going to watch content you produce, even if you are the best player in the world at the game you're playing. So like, trying to describe someone as a personality, it's like, yeah, clearly they must have something appealing about their personality, their commentary, or whatever, to even have grown an audience in the first place. Because again, in my opinion, even if you're the best player in the world, if you have the personality of sandpaper, you probably won't get an audience. So like,
I mean, yes, generally. But like, you know, like there are people that, you know, will watch someone stream just because they're very good at the game, even if their personality is maybe not like super charismatic, right?
I didn't say super charismatic. I said something appealing about their personality. I don't know how many people literally will go to streams purely because of the person playing its skill.
I think it definitely varies. Okay. Let's try to get back to that snow biome. You know, like some games will have a lot more of it than others, right? So like, and like obviously it's not ever just purely about the player's skill. Like you can be the top player in the world and, you know, wouldn't necessarily get people to watch just because of that. But if you are very good at the game, that can cover up a lot of personality flaws or character flaws that someone might have just because of that. You take like a lot of people who, you know, play, let's say CSGO or League of Legends or Halo or just whatever. Or Valorant. Valorant would be another good one.
No, it wouldn't. Because that game doesn't exist. Valorant? Not a game. Valorant. Learn pronunciation.
Oh, Lord. Anyhow.
Sorry.
Yeah, sure you are. But yeah, so, you know, like, people like, or, people who do Super Mario World Kaizo, right? You know, like there's an element of, you know, dedication there, which, you know, is appealing to a lot of people. But a lot of it is also like the fact that they can do really hard, you know, really hard shit and, you know, make it seem more achievable or more attainable. It gets a lot of people to watch.
Now, what's our definition of a lot? Because I don't think most people who do Kaizo Mario is actually pulling that many views.
Well, right, but they're pulling more views than they would if they, you know, probably weren't doing that. Most likely.
Right,
oh,
but
I poisoned myself.
at least to a degree, and again, this is, you know, purely superficial conversation topic, for the matter. For Kaizo, it's, in my opinion, slightly different because it very much boils down to, in my opinion, potentially like what percentage of the world actually has the skill capacity to do it. Because again, I know obviously for a lot of people, doing something 100 times will make it easier. For some people it won't, but for a lot of people it will.
Yeah, generally, you are not one of those people, correct?
I do not feel like I get better the more often I do something. I feel like I generally just stay about the same.
That was my understanding of what you thought you were, yeah.
You know, like, obviously there's a difference in my opinion between, like, feeling like you're getting better at something versus, not repeating what in actuality is, let's say, a common mistake.
I mean,
I know there's a real fine line there, but in the capacity I mean it, I'm talking like a common mistake. You know, like, how do I wanna, words, things, places. I mean it kind of more in the capacity of saying, like, even more so than just like outright skill at something. A common mistake could, like, for instance, be something like you're pressing a button way too soon, but the game has like no good like indicator of when like you should actually be pressing said button. You know, like, in my opinion, that's not necessarily something like skill, that's just the game not actually telling you how to play it. Because any game can tell you, oh, when you see the enemy attacking, press whatever to parry. But they don't actually tell you at what point in an enemy's attack animation does the attack actually become parryable. Because I know some people, when they hear, if an enemy's attacking, press X to parry, they think, oh, I need to press X to parry before it hits me. Or I need to press X to parry the second the attack animation starts. You know, those type of things I consider to be necessarily, like, common mistakes, but don't necessarily pertain to skill. Because the game doesn't actually let you know the correct timing. So the only way to figure out the correct timing is literally pure experimentation. You know,
yeah.
skill, in my opinion, is something a lot more like how consistently can you do hard jumps in like Mario. Because once you figure out the timing for all of like the various jumps you can do, skill becomes how often you can actually execute it, and common mistakes wouldn't, in my opinion, be like pressing the button too long. Because usually, in theory, if you look at the jump, you have a good idea of how long you need to press the button. Or maybe I'm just overestimating people there. That could always be a thing.
Well, I mean, I think the thing about Kaizo is that most people have the capacity to do most Kaizo levels, right? It's just a matter of practice and repetition to get to the point where they can.
Disagree.
I think the average person can do most Kaizo. Now, like your super hardcore Kaizo, yeah, no, like at that point you are like you know, like you're reaching a certain threshold as you go into that. But I think your average person with enough practice and repetition could do most forms of Kaizo.
I'm gonna disagree.
Okay, why is that? Most Kaizo isn't really that hard. You know, like, it's not easy. It's not something that you can just kind of pick up and do. But that doesn't make something, you know, super difficult either. It's like people say Dark Souls is like super, you know, super difficult game. You know, Dark Souls is not a super difficult game. It just requires practice for the most part. That's not to say that, you know, it's not a challenging game.
Most Kaizo content, most people probably couldn't do, even with practice and repetition, because there is a fundamental difficulty difference between Kaizo and, like, Dark Souls. Because, again, like you say, Dark Souls is 99% practice and repetition. Kaizo, again, by far and large, does actually require significantly smaller frame gaps between inputs and such that I do potentially feel like it's beyond most people. If you look, you know, actually at like target demographic stuff, so to speak, because, like, I'm not talking about, like, most people being, like, your average FPS player who just doesn't have an interest in platformers. Because that's, in my opinion, irrelevant to the conversation. People who have no interest in a genre, in theory, shouldn't be the, like, focus of most people. Most people should be the people who actually play the genre. Do you think that's fair?
Do you mean as far as like demographics, or like what do you mean by that?
Like, for the point of talking about like difficulty, most people should be the people who play the genre, not just most people versus people who have no interest in playing the game.
Well, I think if we're talking about aspect of like raw capabilities, anyone in the world counts in that, right? Like, for the aspect of just raw mechanical ability, if someone needed to do something, could they achieve that? And, you know, like, I honestly think, like, you know, like, as someone who does, like, IT for a living, right? I get told all the time how people's like, I could never do what you do. And frankly, that's bullshit. You know, why do ain't nothing special.
Right, but again, if a person has no interest in actually, like, working on a computer slash software, whatever, like, they shouldn't be counted in a part of the most people, because if they have no interest in doing it, they're basically closing their mind to learning in the first place.
Right, but like that doesn't count like what like someone's raw ability is, right?
Except it does, because if they have no interest in doing it, they will not even put forth the effort to learn.
But that doesn't mean that they could not do it.
But it means they're not a part of the conversation anymore because they refuse to learn. In my opinion.
Like, I get what you're saying, right? Like, you know, I understand what you mean, and like from a, you know, if we're arguing from like a, you know, if we are making the argument on a more functional level of existence, right? Or more fundamental level of existence with it. Sure, yes, absolutely. But if we're talking about, you know, could the average person, whoever they are, do Kaizo if they really wanted to.
Except if they don't want to, they should be excluded, because literally, if you try to take the average person, you have to factor in all age groups, blah blah blah, and some of those people just, no matter what, would never put forth the time and effort to actually learn how to play a platformer. So, like, I don't feel like they should be included. I feel like when you say most people, it should be people who actually have any amount of interest in a platformer. It doesn't matter if it's baby's first platformer or, you know, ultra hard death platformer. You know, but it should focus on people who actually want to play the genre.
But how many people, like, don't know that they would enjoy the genre or enjoy it before they try it? Why exclude them from the possible realms of capability?
Why are you talking about exclude them from the realm of possibility?
Well, I mean, if, you know, you have someone who, you know, has never played that genre before, how do they decide that they, you know, don't like that?
There's 1,000 free platformers.
Well, sure, but if someone's not exposed to something, they can't ever really decide if that's something for them or not. You know,
Look, if you were talking about any genre basically other than platformer, I might give you a leg to stand on. But for platformers, yeah, sorry. I'm gonna say,
well, yeah, but, like, I mean, how many people have never, like, played a serious video game before? You know, like, when we're saying serious, like, you know, not to, like, properly, like, diminish, you know, Candy Crush or stuff like that, but, you know, like, there's a difference between Candy Crush style games and Mario style games.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna need at least some definition for what you're deeming to be serious video game.
You know, like, you know, there's an element of difference. This is a little scary.
Yeah, but in that same capacity, if you've played Candy Crush, you have no excuse to have not played a serious game.
Well, I mean, but a lot of people just don't, you know, choose to do so, but they would have the ability to do so if they wanted to.
Right, but until they do so, they're not a part of the conversation.
I don't know. I think it's just
I don't know, because
I have
in my
a
opinion,
lot of gold on me.
Okay, let me spin it a different way. I don't care for MOBAs, but by that logic, MOBA corporations should be listening to me. Oh wait, no, that's a terrible idea because that's how you ruin the game for everyone who greatly enjoys MOBAs.
I'm not telling, like, I'm not saying game developers should listen to people who aren't, like, part of their core demographic. Never even suggested that. I'm just saying that if we look at Kaizo and what people can do there, you know, ultimately, most people have the, you know, capabilities to do Kaizo. Most Kaizo is not hard enough to set it apart from the general populace from a core ability standpoint.
What are you considering to be general populace?
Your average person. You know, if you took...
How old's your average person?
How old are they?
Because most Kaizo might be, especially since as you get older, you can no longer play fighting games competitively because you start losing the ability to do fast enough inputs. I think I could be mistaken, but I think most people generally have to retire from, like, competitive fighting by the age of 35 for fighting games.
I mean, yeah,
they can still play for fun, but, like, for competitive sake.
Yeah, but the majority of Kaizo is not hard enough to, like, rule that populace out.
I don't I don't think you're right about that because you don't know what the majority of Kaizo is.
I feel like the majority of Kaizo is a lot more accessible
The
than
mainstream Kaizo, absolutely. I don't know if the majority of Kaizo is. Because that's a question more pertaining to like sites that actually might be mildly against yeah. Don't 100% know on that one.
Oh, I think that's another heart crystal.
Because I'll willingly admit, even in terms of like purely like surface level discussions, I don't actually know which is generally deemed to be harder, Kaizo or like I Want to Be the Guy.
I mean, like the I Want to Be a Guy ones that are, how do I want to put it, more about just like memory than actual like. There's a couple ones that are like really tight because I remember like watching like Matt Pat play through a couple of them or whatever. You know, like outside of those, like, you know, I Want to Be the Guy, I think it's mainly just like memorization, isn't it?
I am burning to death. It again, it depends on what capacity of I Want to Be the Guy you're referring to, because in the vein of I Want to Be the Guy fan games, from my understanding, a lot of them are on the ultra hard side.
Well, I mean, fan games are a little bit different than the official games. No.
I Want to Be the Guy doesn't really have official games.
Is it not technically?
From my understanding, I Want to Be the Guy, in and of itself, was generally kind of designed more like as like a kind of like fan gamey parody. So it's how to phrase this in a way that doesn't
So, while you think of that, just out of curiosity, wouldn't talking about Mario and Kaizo and like I Want to Be the Guy technically be spoiler about how hard I Want to Be the Guy is? Wouldn't that be kind of breaking your taboo about spoilers?
No, because it's a conversation about difficulty. It's not about the game. It's about difficulty in video games in general.
Oh, I just ate like 2 pies back to back because for whatever reason my cursor was on that.
And to give a better example of that is, like, we're not talking about, for instance, if you want to play the game because of, like, whatever reason. Because at that point, you know, you could get into the detail about, like, no, I don't want to play this game because it has too many F jumps. Versus just generally discussing difficulty, which applies universally across every single game. just Kaizo and I Want to Be the Guy is on the harder half, in my opinion,
Oh, pardon me.
of games in general. Whereas, like, obviously, you know, there's tons of games that are just, you know, at the end of the day, not that hard. Doesn't make them bad games, they're just not that hard. Because, you know, by that logic, Master Mode Terraria, without exaggerating, is probably harder than any Mario game.
Does appear to be the case.
And I use that phrasing very specifically because this is expert, this is not master mode. And given that you can actually play the seed on master mode, where it would be harder, you know, it's discussing very broadly the concept of difficulty versus what actually makes something hard. But generally, we're like, depending on how particular you want to get about game difficulty, it's so hard to say what actually makes a game hard. Because in the most simplistic way, if you want to make the hardest game in the world, you literally just make it impossible for a human to do. AKA, less than 1 frame inputs.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Okay. One. Man, I'm gonna really hope this one's not a dead man's chest. Is there a way to tell?
Normally you would use something that would reveal wires to you, except in this seed it doesn't appear like you can see wires, so no. You just kinda gotta check around for explosives and other, like, traps.
Okay. Well, I now have ice skates. Man, there's so many areas to explore in that snow biome.
But yeah, the reason why I was saying I don't know if, like, I Want to Be the Guy can really hardly be classified as a game versus, like, fan game stuff is the two, in air quotes, more how would be the best way to phrase this? I think there's only 2 more, in air quotes, official I Want to Be the Guy games. And I could be mistaken there, but they both, I don't want to phrase this wrong, but essentially both use stolen assets. So in theory, they couldn't be sold for money.
I mean, doesn't make it not a game though.
I didn't say it doesn't make it like not a game, but it's hard to make it an official game if, you know, again, you're using stolen assets to do so. And I'm not saying like I'm not saying there's a single I want to be the guy game or fan game that uses all original assets. I'm by no means saying that. Just I don't know where that leaves like trying to decide like what the in air quotes potentially official games might be, because in terms of I Want to Be the Guy, the only two games I know of fully bearing that title is I Want to Be the Guy and I Want to Be the Guy, I think Gaiden?
Yeah, that's the ones I'm aware of.
I have never heard of a third one bearing the official title of I Want to Be the Guy.
I mean, technically anything that would be the official ones would be ones made by the original people. Or studio or whatever.
I don't know if the original one was ever like published under a name.
I mean, presumably someone originally uploaded it.
Yeah, but like that doesn't mean it was made by one person versus just an account that uploaded. Because I know obviously for the sake of Kaizo Mario, there is a clear-cut original person who created it. Don't know the guy's name. I should, because I've heard it like 18 times, but I don't remember it.
Way it goes sometimes. Oh.
Found about 6 boomsticks, a few staffs of regrow. Basically, I found every jungle item that is not an Anklet of Wind in multiple copies.
That sounds really unfortunate, all things considered.
Yeah, I've literally found 6 shotguns. 2 feral claws, staff of regrowth, and like just several other ones, and it's like, cool. You can only get the Anklet of Wind from rich mahogany trees normally, and or jungle shrines. And I've got basically every other item for each one I found.
Do we need a duck statue?
I don't know. No. See, as an, you know, I fully understand, like, I'm obviously, like, super particular about spoilers, but I also generally view it as, if something's 10 to 20 years old, sorry.
Guys, I don't know how to break it to you, but you're just particular in general.
I didn't say I wasn't. I just said I know I'm extra particular about, like, spoilers.
Okay, long as we're in the clear on that there, buddy.
You know, because, again, I get it. No matter what form of media it is, you know, at some point, there will always be someone who hasn't had an opportunity to experience something, no matter what it is.
That is absolutely true.
There's also some general spoilers that, while they are technically, like, spoilers, they're almost universally known.
Depending on which communities you're in, yeah. Like, most people aren't gonna know I Want to Be the Guy is a super hard game. I don't think that's common knowledge. Another blood moon? When I'm in the depths of this hell?
What are we considering to be super common knowledge?
I mean, I just don't think that it's considered common knowledge is all.
Well, I was just more asking out of curiosity. Because if you want to just talk, you know, in the broadest sense of general knowledge, no. But in general knowledge, I Want to Be the Guy doesn't exist.
Oh boy,
And I only say that in the broader capacity of probably the most popular I Want to Be the Guy or I Want to Be the Guy fan game, probably 30 million to 50 million people know of it. Because I don't think, like, any of them have got 10 plus million views on, like, a YouTube video.
right.
Some of them have probably definitely got to, like, 1 million or 2 million. But, like, even if you count across, like, all of the various fan games, which I don't know how many fan games are still available. I know at some point I think there was easily 300-400 fan games. You know, most of them would struggle to probably break 1,000 views. But also, generally speaking, most people don't bother to finish those games.
Have you been by where I'm at?
No, I was above you.
Hmm. I don't know where all my blood moon zombies are. When did you get kicked out?
I didn't.
You want to talk about it then?
I've got an inkling of win now, that's all that matters.
Hmm. Okay.
I spent 2 hours searching for one legit. That's what counts. Yeah, in this case, there's nothing I could do for that guy. You know, when you spawn at spawn, you can only get out so quickly, and if flying enemies decide to go through an open door because NPCs choose to leave doors open, you can't save them.
I mean, fair enough, I reckon. I don't really want to climb back up. I'm gonna imagine here. Oh, goodness.
What?
I'm just stretching.
Don't do that, it's bad for you.
Right, yeah.
Sit perfectly still for 20 hours a day.
I do that enough as is. Ugh.
Hey, Mr. Vacuum, you should come over here. Pick up all that trash and money I just dropped.
I think I found your money.
It would have been the 9 gold coins. I don't care. Keep it.
I see there's a lot of money troughs over here.
Yeah, it's funny how RNG works out sometimes.
Well, that's a couple to sell then. Oh boy. Awesome, yeah. Just sort my inventory. It got really full while I was out and about. I did get a blizzard in a bottle, by the way.
Hoot. Yeah, that's probably the best jumping accessory we're gonna get in this world. Oh, I'm dumb. Okay.
No.
Can you quit being a menace?
Oh. Man, that was... That sure was something, wasn't it?
We need to build more housing. Because, our guide is no longer spawning back. So I guess that begs the question, at what altitude would you like to build housing?
Oh, well...
And I only say that because this housing clearly isn't going to work, because anytime we fight Wall of Flesh, unless we go literally to the furthest extreme of the world, chances are we're going to plow through all our NPCs, and I don't know if they could survive.
Are you implying that we don't want to murder them all each and every time?
I'm implying that you might not want to.
That's fair. I would rather... Why are you shotgunning at me?
Just showing you the boomstick I found. Because each of those bullets would do 15, and I think it fires 3 or 4. I don't know if that would do more than a bow that does 34 per arrow. Against bosses. Obviously, at least in part, it would depend on how many shots you hit.
Oh, you're gonna get light pets?
Yes. That's when you would finally be able to escape magluminescence.
So is Blizzard in a Bottle technically a quicker or a higher jump than Tsunami?
I don't know, you would have to test it.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be a choice. So have you decided that what you actually want to do?
I mean, there's so many things in throughout, like the middle that I just don't know about. It's hard to really know, you know? I'm glad the merchant's back. I need to sell some stuff to him.
Why?
What do you mean?
Oh my word, I'm playing with an idiot. All joking aside, you can literally sell to any NPC you can buy from. Whether it's the zoologist, arms dealer, the demolitionist, any NPC who has a inventory with a shop, you can sell stuff to. You can't only sell to the merchant.
Do we want these money troughs?
Huh?
Do we want these money troughs?
Nah.
Okay, so I'm gonna sell the 2. I've got 2 shark baits. You cool if I sell those?
What?
The baby shark thing.
Oh,
I got.
sure.
How many keen or how many ice blades do we want?
0.
Okay, I figured that was probably the case.
They're not a material. They don't need to be stacked up.
Man, I wish there was a way to like quick sort like all of the chests in an area.
What do you mean by quick sort?
Like, have all the chests in, like, a given area, like, sort amongst themselves.
No, that's just what quick stack is for. So, if we manage to beat Skeletron and get you a Marimasa, I believe we can create the strongest sword available for you, pre-hard mode. Because I think you need you need the Blood Butcher or Light's Bane. You need the Marimasa. You need, I think it's the Volcano now, since I think they removed the Fiery Greatsword. And then you need the Blade of Grass to create Night's Edge. I could be missing something, but unless they change the recipe for that, it's those 4 swords make Night's Edge. And again, I don't know how many Broken Hero swords you need at this point to make the Terra Blade, but I think it's 1. Because I think they changed it to where Night's Edge requires... it's either enemy souls or mechanical boss souls. Then Excalibur, I think, requires enemy souls or boss souls. And then True Excalibur and True Night's Edge, I think, needs a Broken Hero sword to turn into the Terra Blade. Either or you need Broken Hero swords to create the true versions of those swords. And then you need, like, the mechanical boss souls to create the Terra Blade. It's something close to that.
Fair enough.
So how much longer are you planning on going?
I mean, it's like 120. We could grind a couple of bosses if we wanted to, but otherwise I feel like I'm good on exploring at the moment.
Okay.
I've been in the realms of ice and death for a hot minute.
As I'm loading other characters to see who has ice skates. Look, I'm sorry, you know how long it took you to find ice skates.
I mean, I was just looking through the ice biome in general.
Right. But the idea still stands that if I wanted ice skates as well, it would take a similar amount of time. Because is it lightning boots and frostspark?
Yes.
Okay. Then lightning boots there. I'm just going to borrow the frost boots I just literally have on a different character. Same difference as finding ice skates.
And what do you need to make the next tier?
Why?
I mean, is that weird that I'm asking, like, what do we need next?
No. That's why. That's why. The next one would require the lava waders. Which is what the lava charm and water walking boots plus an obsidian rose goes into.
So that's not a good time, is it?
No, you gotta search the underground layer or cavern layer for about 18 years until you find a lava charm.
And which layer is that?
The layer right above the underworld.
Okay.
Because I think if you're in the underworld, it changes to underworld. Whereas if you're right above it, I think it says underground or cavern. I think it's cavern then underground. It's like surface, underground, cavern, underworld.
And what would I need to know? What would I need to have on me to know the layer depth meter?
Yeah.
Okay, so underworld. So you said caverns?
Yeah, it's like the section right above underworld. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Where it's like the gray background normally.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you could find it in the actual like RGB mushroom like height, or it would be just slight on the upper half or right above there. Do you want me to cheat obsidian roses? They're not impossibly hard to get, they're just annoying.
What do you have to do to get those?
We would have to go left or right in the underworld far enough that fire imps spawn, and kill them until they drop an obsidian rose. It's either a 2 or 5% drop rate.
That's a toughie.
Like I said, they're not terribly hard to get, it's just you gotta wait for the correct enemy to spawn and just keep killing the correct enemy.
I mean, sure. I mean, for that, I think that would be fine. Are we going to grind bosses or not?
Nah.
Okay. Oh, found a random pumpkin. Do you plant random pumpkins?
No. They just might not have been fully ready to harvest.
Well, no, I found them up in the caverns.
Oh, then they probably grew randomly.
Didn't know that was possible. Okay, well, we'll wrap up here, and next session we'll do something.
Actually fight bosses, because at that point we're literally running out of things we could do instead.
Yep, pretty much. Have a good one, folks.